Good morning, students. I'm on cloud 9 to meet you again in this session. So finally, an end has come for the struggle of the past nearly 9-10 months, right? Pray that God will do wonders in future. So now there is a little hesitation for the students to come to school. See, why I am saying this is, one child who is known to me, who is studying in a 10th standard, and he is there in some other school, it is. Online classes are going on very smoothly, and a lot of homeworks are given for the students, and this particular child is not ready to do the homework. When the mother just pestered the child for completing the work, the child said, last year also it happens like this. You said there will be exam. Till the last moment the education minister says the same thing. But finally what has happened? There is no exam. So what all I have learned is utter waste. Why you are asking me to learn now? So he was just going on his own way. An easy-going child he is. And now when this announcement comes, he is really very shocked to hear this. And now maybe some of you are in the same boat like that particular child I have been telling you about. So anyway, concentrate on your studies. Follow the rules and regulations that the government is asking us to follow, and we will meet each other, one another, face to face in the forthcoming days. Right? Right. Let me proceed with the lesson. In the last class, I have been telling you about the rules of the road written by A.G. Gardiner. Actually, it is not the rules of the road. It is not something about the road. It is about us he is talking about. We have got the liberty to live in this world. We are just walking in the road in our life. We are just traveling day by day. We are traveling, and while traveling we have to follow certain rules. If we fail to follow that rules and regulations that are given to us by the government, by the traffic people, by the society, by the medical department, if you refuse to follow all these things, surely it will end in utter confusion, distraction to the society. If the liberties of all may be curtailed, some will be preserved. If the liberty of all may be preserved, liberties of all may be curtailed also. If the liberty of all may be preserved, the liberty of all may be curtailed. So we have liberty for everything, but there is some curtailment for us to follow. Otherwise, it will cause distraction to the society. This is what A.G. Gardiner comes to tell us of. It is a very good lesson for us to follow in our day-to-day life. Am I right, children? Yes. So after reading this, so whenever there is some restriction given to us, you have to abide by the rules and regulations which is given to us. Whether it is in the classroom, in the school, or in your home, maybe with your parents. When your parents say something, you will be just doing just the opposite. Why? Why you are saying like this? You feel jealous of me? This is the question very often asked to the mother by the teenage boy. So there will be some reason behind it. Obey the parents and follow the rules of the road. You will be successfully reaching the destination if you follow the rules of the road. Right? Now you take your textbook, children. Very soon we will just wind up the session, proceed with the very interesting, very useful lesson, I could say. for you to follow. See, when you are just going in a vehicle, all on a sudden when there is a traffic, you will be just murmuring, irritating and shouting like anything. But you should not do like that. You have to wait patiently, right? You have to wait patiently till that traffic gets cleared. Similarly, if you go to some other place, you may be having some other urgent businesses. That is your personal thing. It has nothing to do with this. So you must learn to abide the rules of the road, right? Now, take page number 178, the first paragraph. Everybody would be getting in everybody else's way and nobody would get anywhere. Individual liberty would have become social anarchy. There is a danger of the world getting liberty drunk in these days, like the old lady with a basket. So now in this world, everybody is liberty drunk. Everybody wants to achieve what they have thought. They want to do what they like. That is the meaning of liberty drunk. Individual liberty, everybody wish to achieve. Like the old lady whom we have seen earlier with the basket. And it is just as well to remind ourselves of what the rule of the road means. It means that in order that the liberty of all may be preserved, the liberties of everybody must be curtailed. This is the key point. That is, if you want to preserve the liberty, if everybody who lives in the world wish to preserve liberty, somebody's freedom is also curtailed. Somebody's freedom must get curtailed. So that is the meaning of it. It means that in order that the liberties of all may be preserved, if you want to preserve the liberty of everybody, if you wish to maintain the liberty, the freedom of everyone, the liberties of everybody must be curtailed. So as I said, moving through the road, the liberty of the lady is just to walk on the side path alone, but she is occupying the main road. Somebody else's liberty gets curtailed, disturbed. Right. When the policeman says at Piccadilly Circus, steps into the middle of the road and puts out his hand, he is a symbol not of tyranny. If you see a traffic policeman on the road showing his hand when on the middle of the road, you will get irritated. Similarly, in the Piccadilly Circus, a policeman steps into the middle of the road and puts out his hand. He is a symbol not of tyranny. When we look at him, we feel that, oh, why this man has come here at the wrong time, at the right time, to disturb us. He seems to be a tyrant to us, autocratic man, but of liberty. But he is a man of liberty who just brings liberty to you. You may not think so. You will never think that the traffic man is a person who brings liberty, freedom to you. You feel that he has come to curtail your freedom. You may being in a hurry and seeing your car pulled up by his insolence of office, feel that your liberty has been outraged. You are a little rude and you feel that your liberty gets outraged. It is taken away by this. See, I was moving very quickly. Why this trouble has come in between? How dare this fellow interfere with your free use of the public highway? Why this man has come in between to stop me? What right he has to do like this? I am just moving in the public highway. It is a common property. It is not his property. Why he is coming to stop me? This is the question very often we used to ask when you see the traffic policeman. Then, if you are a reasonable person, you will reflect that if he did not interfere with you, he would interfere with no one, and the result would be that Piccadilly Circus would be a maelstrom that you would never cross at all. And if you have some common sense, if you are a person who understands things, who has the thinking capacity, who could analyze the problems properly, he will think that if you are a reasonable person with some common sense, you will reflect that if he did not interfere with you, if that traffic man has not come on that way, he would interfere with no one. He will, if he is not coming there, he will not come at all. So what will be the consequence of it? And the result would be that Piccadilly Circus would be a maelstrom that you would never cross at all. So all the vehicles will be coming one after the other, just thrusting their nose in between, and no one could move even an inch. So you cannot escape from that situation for a long time maybe. You have submitted to a curtailment of private liberty in order that you may enjoy a social order which makes your liberty a reality. So the author tells in this paragraph that in order to enjoy a full freedom, your freedom must get curtailed in certain places, right? That is the point he wished to bring here. Liberty is not a personal affair only, but a social contract. It is an accommodation of interest in matters which do not touch anybody else's liberty. Of course, I may be as free as I like. If I choose to go down the road in a dressing gown, who shall say me nay? You have liberty to laugh at me, but I have liberty to be indifferent to you. Listen, liberty is not a personal affair only. It is not a personal affair alone. We cannot say that in every field you have to sacrifice your liberty to a certain extent to get full freedom. It is not like that. There are certain areas where you can utilize the full freedom of yours. But a social commitment it is, contract. It is an accommodation of interest in matters which do not touch anybody else's liberty, of course. So there are certain areas where nobody else's liberty is not touched at all. I may be as free as I like. I can be as I am. I have the freedom to be like what I am. He gives one or two examples below. If I choose to go down the road in a dressing gown, who shall say no? I have full liberty to walk on the road in my dressing gown. I have the liberty. No one can stop me. You have liberty to laugh at me. You have the full right to make fun of me. But I have liberty to be indifferent to you. So when you are laughing at me, I have the full freedom to be indifferent to you, to turn away from that place. I have the liberty. And if I have a fancy for dyeing my hair, or waxing my mustache, or wearing an overcoat and sandals, or going to bed late or getting up early, I shall follow my fancy and ask no man's permission. These are the areas where I can enjoy my freedom without any curtailment, without any action, right? What all the areas he says? If I have a fancy for dyeing my hair, I have the full freedom to have my own hairstyle. Don't come to school and say that yesterday you have been telling like this, today you don't ask me to just plait your hair, all these things. Don't say like that. But it is a general rule. But inside the school, you are a student and you have to follow your freedom is getting curtailed. That is the thing, right? Understood, children? Right. I have my own right to dye my hair, have my own hairstyle, or waxing my mustache. So please cut your hair. We used to ask the children to send them out of the class because the hair is not properly maintained. But inside the school you have to be. But you have the full freedom to do it outside. Or wearing an overcoat and sandals, that chappals. Or going to bed late or early, getting up early. You have full freedom to go late to bed and get up early. I shall follow my fancy and ask no man's permission. I have my own wish. I need not ask anybody's permission. I shall not inquire of you whether I may eat mustard with my mutton. So I have the right to eat my own preferable food. The food that I like most, I have the right. I shall not inquire of you whether I may eat mustard with my mutton. I need not ask you whether I can eat dosa today or idli today or chapati today. You have the right to eat your own food. And you will not ask me whether you may follow this religion or that. So I have my own right to follow my own religion. Whether it is Hinduism, Christianity, Muslim, Buddha, Jainism, Sikhism, whatever it is, I have the right to follow my religion. Or that whether you may prefer Ella Wheeler Wilcox to Wordsworth, whether you like to read the works of Wordsworth, Shakespeare, Milton, Browning, or Ella. Ella is an American author, a famous American author and a poet. He says, his famous words are, laugh and the world laughs with you. So when you laugh, the world laughs with you. When you are happy, everybody at home, at school are happy. But he says, weep. When you weep alone. You don't make others to weep just because of you. When you are happy, make everyone happy. Let everyone be happy. But when you are sad, let the sadness be with you. Don't just let the sadness get its influence on your neighbors or inmates or who is with you, by the side of you. That is his, that Ella's words. And you have the right to prefer Ella or Shakespeare or Milton or Bunyan, whoever it is. You have liberty there. Or campaign to shandy, whether I like to drink lemonade or ma or whatever juice. In all these and 1,000 other details, you and I please ourselves and as no one's leave. So all these areas, you have your own liberty to do, act as you like. But in certain areas, you should not enjoy the full liberty, because it will curtail the freedom of somebody else. Understood, children? Right. We have a whole kingdom in which we rule alone, can do what we choose, be wise or ridiculous, harsh or easy, conventional or odd. But when we step out of that kingdom, our personal liberty of action becomes qualified by other people's liberty. We have a whole kingdom in which we rule alone. There are certain kingdom areas where we are the kings, we are the rulers, we are the ministers, we are the subjects, we are everyone. Right? There are certain areas. We can do what we choose, what we like. Be wise or ridiculous. You can be wise. You can be a funny person, comical person. Harsh or easy. You can be a harsh person. You can be a very easy-going person. A conventional or odd. A conventional person, a normal person, or a person who has some peculiar characters, always pulling up the face. But when we step out of that kingdom, our personal liberty of action becomes qualified by other people's liberty. Certain areas are there where you can utilize your own freedom for everything. I told you certain areas. But when you step out of that kingdom, out of that area, our personal liberty of action becomes qualified by other people's liberty. And in the following lines, the author gives, A.G. Gardiner gives an example for that. These are all the areas where you can utilize full freedom of yours. You can eat your own food, you can read your own author, you can dress up as you like. You have the right to get up early and go to bed late. All these areas, nobody is there to curtail you. But when you come out of this domain, there is you must think that your personal liberty should be surrendered a little for the benefit of the public, right? And the author gives one or two examples. See, I might like to practice on the trombone from midnight till 3 in the morning. So my wish is, I have a wish to play on the trombone from midnight till the morning. See, just imagine, there are people who purposely disturb the neighbors or the inmates with their doings. One among this is just a person likes to play his musical instrument, that is the trombone. It is a wind instrument like a saxophone. It is made of brass, right? Trombone, he wished to play at midnight until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, he continues to play. What will be the condition of the inmates of the home when the wind instruments like saxophone just gives out the sound? No one could sleep in the home, right? So this is what, you have the right to do it, but it should never disturb the other person. If I went on to the top of Everest to do it, I could please myself. See, you have the right to play the trombone in a place where nobody gets disturbed. For example, if I am going to the Mount Everest, at the top of the Mount Everest, if I stand and play that trombone, no problem at all. I could enjoy it along with the natural scenery and the songs of the birds and all the other things. I could enjoy it. I could please myself, but if I do it in my bedroom, my family will object. If I do the same thing in my home, if I started to play the trombone, what will be the condition of my inmates, my family members, the person who sleeps along with me in my home? They will object. They will say that you find out some other place, I have to sleep. So if you go on playing that trombone from midnight till 4 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, their sleep gets disturbed. The next day they may not be able to proceed with their day-to-day work. Hope you understand. So sit very relaxedly and think of all the consequences of what you are doing in your day-to-day life. So then if you realize that, you will be traveling in the correct path and knowing the rules of the road which leads your life. And if I do it out in the streets, the neighbors will remind me that my liberty to blow the trombone must not interfere with their liberty to sleep in quiet. So, when my inmates started scolding me, and so I thought I must go out to play the trombone. If you go to that mountainous area or in a lonely place, in a faraway place where there is no disturbance, it is okay. You have the full freedom to do it. Whereas, if you do it in your home, the person who sleeps along with you in your home gets disturbed. So what you did is, just let me go to the street and play my trombone. There I have the freedom. Let me go there. No problem, you think, and you will be going to the street outside your home. What will happen? What will be the consequence of it? Everybody will come with this thing. How dare you are to stand there and play this, and my child is sleeping, my sick mother is and all these people gets disturbed, and there is no sleep for these people for the past 2 days. Now you have come to, just now the person has slept, my mother has slept, and she has some problem with the heart, and now you are just blowing the trombone. This is the scoldings that you will get from your neighbors. The neighbors will remind me that my liberty to blow the trombone must not interfere with their liberty to sleep in quiet. Your liberty to play the musical instrument should never disturb the liberty of other persons to sleep quietly at night. Hope you understand, children. There are a lot of people in the world, and I have to accommodate my liberty to their liberties. So there are a lot of people in this world who wish to fit in with his liberty to their liberty. They want to go along with their liberty with this. We are all liable to forget this. And unfortunately, we are much more conscious of the imperfections of others in their respect than our own. So this is what happens everywhere, everyday life. Everyone thinks of ourselves alone. We never bother about others, right? If you take each and every actions that we are doing, we bother only about us. We are all liable to forget this. What we are forgetting? And unfortunately, we are much more conscious of the imperfections of others. We forget our indisciplinary activities and we try to find fault with others for everything. No, I am perfect and he only has done it. Always we show the finger on others. We forget ourselves completely. We feel that we are perfect. I have done it. We are all liable to forget this. We all forget that my liberty should not curtail the liberty of others. I should not disturb anybody in my way. But very often, we people forget all these things and we put the blame on others. We forget our imperfections and we try to act that we are perfect and the other person is wrong. This happens 1001 example I could say for this, where we put the blame on others. I told you already, just putting the blame on others and escaping from the situation has come from, it is not a disease of today and yesterday or day before yesterday, it is from the time immemorial, from the time when man was created in this world, the time of Adam and Eve itself. See, when God has created Adam and Eve and he put them in the Garden of Eden. Very happy, very beautiful place. They have everything. They like to enjoy their life in that Eden. And very cunningly, that Satan entered this garden and asked that girl, Eve, when her husband was not there, see what God has asked you to do. This ladies has the tendency to say all these things, all the things that they are having in their heart out than the boys, right? So, she is narrating all the story. God has been perfect. He has asked us to enjoy everything, but He has forbidden us to take that particular fruit, right? And at once, Satan took the dominant role, and how he has cheated this Eve and how he put the blame on others, we will see in the next class, right? Go through that lesson once more and come for the class. Right, children? Thank you.